Some money. Got to be on time. Be on time. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Jtwes Monday Night Live. Glad y'all all tuned in, and good to see everybody. Which I can't see everybody, but you can see us. So it's still good to see everybody. And beautiful weekend. Had some warm weather.
Just for it to be cold again?
Well, it's not real cold right now.
It is cold. I'm freezing.
I ran the tractor today for a little while, a couple of hours, and chisel plowed that 3-acre field. I didn't get to film none of it. Sammy was going to come film the tail end of what I was doing, and the tractor got to skipping a little bit because it's got some trash in the carburetor and the bowl and stuff. I need to do some work on it. I need to put one of them vice grip garage Wicks inline filters on that thing because it has a rubber hose anyway. It doesn't have a metal hose, and so I need to put a filter on it and probably a carburetor kit. And when it gets low in gas, you can really it loses that down pressure of the gas, and so it was skipping. But we got the whole field chisel plowed, and it looks beautiful. That's the field, the extra plow day field. It's about 3 acres, and it worked up real nice. It was pretty good. Who we got in here, Lena? Who was first?
Timbo was first tonight.
Timbo was first
Howdy,
tonight. Good gracious
neighbor.
alive, Timbo.
Where is Jason? Jason
you
McDonald.
get that.
I'm looking for him. Farm Boy 59 is on.
Hey, Brian. Good to hear from you, bud.
Good evening. Hope all is well. Joey, you done some good singing yesterday, but you got to slide over so the camera can see you. Was it on at church?
I guess.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I had nursery yesterday, so I don't know if you.
Yeah,
I didn't hear nothing.
I get enough camera with the YouTube channel. Yeah, Matter of fact, my preacher's going to Philippines, and his wife, we call her Miss Jane. She texted me tonight and said, "I need you to get something together for Sunday morning." I said, "We got you."
We'll take care of it.
We'll take care of it.
And Brian also says, hit the like button as you jump on. It makes it easier.
Yes, yes.
And Joseph Lott is on.
Hey, Joseph Lott.
Janice is on.
Hey, Janice.
And Bart Sexton is on. Goldsboro checking in.
Goldsboro.
And he says, I'm the only one with no sound or picture, but that was before we went live. He was just early.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you're right here, but check the bottom. Make sure you don't see nothing about any sound problems or anything. Okay.
No.
Just make sure, because we wouldn't know till we got down there.
Yeah. Shop Piddling is on.
Shop Piddling.
Yeah. It says, good evening, everybody from Blues Creek. Man, I wish the cold would leave.
Yep. Well, it's it's not
Me
too
too.
bad. It's not too bad.
I don't know. I feel like it today, which I'm just been very chilled today.
To me, it's cold when the highs don't get out of the 30s. That's when it's cold.
Yeah, I've just been chilled and achy today. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. But
What is she doing?
I had nursery yesterday, so no telling what kind of lovely things they shared with me.
What is she doing?
Just sitting. She's just being a good cat, being a good girl. Just, she likes to be on the lives.
Everybody's going to think you the cat lady.
Well, I kind of am, not by choice. Paul Ford is on.
Hey, Paul Ford.
Good evening. Waiting on severe weather and very strong winds late tonight and tomorrow morning.
I hope not. I've seen some rumblings of.
Yeah, we're supposed to get it Wednesday.
Yeah, I've seen some rumblings of it. The fellow I watch on YouTube, everybody knows who he is. Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Ryan Hall.
Yeah, Ryan Hall. He's been posting a few things about it. I haven't watched one yet. I need to, just to see what he's got to say about it. But been seeing some rumblings. Hope and pray everybody's okay with it.
Jay Peel is on.
Hey, Jay Peel.
Good evening from the motherland. 55 degrees here today. Hope you're well.
I seen Jay Peel. We all gonna spend $2.5 billion pretty quick.
Let's not get started.
But you're gonna get some minerals for it.
T. Hawkins is on.
Hey, T. Hawkins.
Good evening, everyone. And William May.
William May.
Good evening from White Cross. Warhorstead is on. And John Briggs.
John Briggs.
Yeah. And Joey Neal.
Joey Neal. Hey, Joey.
And this 1904 farm is
John
on.
needs to tell his wife your cat's on.
Yeah, Miss John, tell Miss Carolyn to come look at the cat. Oh, he does say, Carolyn says, there's that beautiful cat. Yes, this is Pris. She's 17 years old. She's a family heirloom.
Yeah, no
At
kidding.
this point, she's a family heirloom. She's an inheritance. Let's see, where was that? Elliot Lindsay's on.
Hey, L.A. Lindsay.
Good evening, Jtwes. I made it. Welch Farm NC is on.
Welch Farm.
And Farm Life with Avery. Said, hey guys, got the old 140 out and plowed both gardens today. Spring is right around the corner. I have a new YouTube channel as well.
Get it, boy.
Farmall Eric is on.
Avery's got another. What's your name of your channel, Avery?
The other channel. Or I guess the new channel.
Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
Okay. Farmall Eric is here.
Hey, Farmall Eric.
Orbra.
Orbra.
Orbra Horton. And Jerry Tyndall.
Jerry Tyndall. Is that a new name?
Yeah, he says, I watch all the time and learn a lot.
Thank you, Jerry.
Michael Coleman is on and has a question. Where's a good place to get garlic bulbs from? Never planted garlic before, but was watching some of your garden videos from earlier, and not a lot of places around here have garlic bulbs.
Yeah, I'd say Hoss Tools would probably be your quickest and best bet. They ship good. They got good products, and I've bought a few things from them. I'm fortunate enough to have a country store that will stock just about all the garden variety that I would plant personally, like Silver Queen or Roma 2 beans. He stocks a few potatoes. Most of the time it's not Leno's favorite, it's the golden, what is it, Yukon Golds.
Yeah.
And so he stocks a few things like that, onion bulbs and stuff. So I'm pretty fortunate there. I can just ride over 3 miles from the house and get it. But for, for garlic bulbs, if I was to buy some personally, I'd probably get them from Hoss Tools myself.
How do you spell Hoss?
Hoss. They have a
Okay.
YouTube channel, pretty big. If he's on YouTube any at all, he's probably seen their channel.
Okay. I didn't know if it was going to be spelled like H-A-U.
And I'm sorry if I'm forgetting somebody out there that watches the channel and sells bulbs. Please, if you're on
Yeah.
here, speak up.
Yeah, put your information in the chat.
It's good for me to remember names, guys.
Paul's Farm is on,
Hey, Paul.
and Johnny Edgerton's on.
Hey, Johnny.
And I think I'm doing the same thing as Johnny, because he says, good evening. It's been cool for me after as warm as it has been. And I think that's what my problem is too. Like a 40-something degree day would be nice after like the December and January we had. But since it's been in the 70s a few days, now it's a 40-degree day and it's really cold to me. So, the fake spring does me wrong. Roger's on,
Hey, Roger.
and Allison is on.
Allison.
Hello from Bynum Road. Stomach bug has taken out 2 of us. One's still standing so far.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry, Allison. And that is going around.
Yeah.
I think it's called norovirus.
Like just a quick overnight stomach bug.
Some it's overnight. Some it's like a couple days, 3 days. Timothy Sutton is on.
I hadn't had that in a while. Hey, Timothy.
Says got some rolling cultivators, I'm guessing. Or because
Yeah.
he spelt it C-U-T-A-V-S, cultivators. Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure that wasn't a legitimate word that I don't know of, because there's been plenty of times they've put stuff in here and I'm like, I think that's a typo, but it's a real word. So Avery said they took down the Farm Life with Avery, or no, Farm Life with Avery is the new channel because they took down the other one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was very sad, man. I don't know. I can't keep up with Avery's channels now because I didn't know he had a different one besides Farm Life with Avery.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Let's see. Farmall Eric says put fixing on my H on hold. Decided to start a business this year, so we'll see how that goes. Well, good luck with that, Farmall Eric, on your business ventures.
Now, who'd you said that had the cultivators?
Timothy Sutton.
Timothy, somebody was emailing me and we were talking about, and it was all actually from Canada. And I thought it was pretty neat that there was a Farmall 140 in Canada. And, and what I was trying to convey to him about row spacing and basically, and I was telling him, I've always farmed stuff on a 44-inch row where it's center to tire is 44 inches. That don't mean that that's exactly how you got to do it. I mean, if you know, because he had some garlic where you could double plant it, and you know, I told him, I said, you set your tractor up for the spacing that you want. You set your cultivators up. You use what cultivators you want to use. Those 140s are there. You know, to me, there's no okay. You got to do this. You know, there's different back feet things you can use. Some people have little scratchers on the back. I use rolling cultivators, which work well for me with my corn and most of my garden stuff. But that don't mean you have to use rolling cultivators. I mean, I just think for what they do an awesome job. I don't have to change them out. But these 140s, there's no right or wrong. You get it to work like you want it to work. You know, you get it to cover the most ground, get the most grass, and just don't be afraid to change different things on it.
Stan is on.
Hey, Stan.
Stan says, I've sort of been here, just fighting phone issues. Good evening to all. Kaylee's on.
Kayla Bell.
Says, hey, from Kaylee Jones.
Kayla Bell.
And speaking of Kaylee Jones, her husband's birthday is tomorrow. Elliot.
That'd be the E in the Jtwes.
The E of Jtwes. His birthday is tomorrow, March 4th.
March 4th. 2008.
Jim Kaufman is on.
No, 2003.
No.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jim.
Jim says, people, let's hit that like button and subscribe. We got to get Jtwes to 100,000.
Oh, man.
Lino needs that red Tahoe.
That's right. I did say that. If I get 100,000 subscribers.
And he says that's a good-looking group in that photo left of Lino up here.
Oh, yeah, me and the boys.
That was Joey and all the boys. And I actually took that picture. I got them. They were lining up to take pictures with the real photographer, like the legitimate one. And I just kind of went over to the side and got them all in profile. And it just turned out to be such a good, like, accidental picture of them. And that was at Elliot's wedding.
Speaking of 100,000 subscribers, I was telling Lino tonight, she'd probably get mad at me for saying this.
What are you going to tell?
Nothing. It's nothing bad.
Okay, go ahead.
I told her, I said, we may not have but 5 people on the live tonight. I said, I ain't going to say the YouTube channel name, but there's a guy, he's having a live tonight because I guess another YouTuber said something about him. And so they're going to hash it out on a live stream tonight. And I told Lena, I said, man, ain't nobody going to be watching
Well, that's what, and that got me thinking. I'm like, one of the Joey's YouTuber friends, y'all need to start a dispute or what do you call it? A disagreement. And y'all do a video for views.
Yeah.
You know, just the drama brings people, I guess.
I just wonder if some of that ain't a little bit of drama. It may not be. It may be for real. But
I guess.
there's a lot of other things to worry about in this world right now than that,
well,
I guess.
and this person tends to be high drama most of the time,
Yeah.
so it's not surprising. I don't watch it, and I tell Joey he shouldn't watch him either because he's just kind of dramatic. Avery said, I've had 2 channels previously. I hope third time is the charm, right?
Well, Avery,
Yes.
YouTube doesn't usually make I don't know what's going on, but they don't usually make a habit of pulling channels, Avery. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. Deborah Calvert's on.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi, everyone from Coastal NC.
Coastal NC.
Sorry I'm so late life, LOL. Deborah, I completely get it.
That's totally fine.
I completely get that. And Avery said, tell him I said happy birthday. And Will is on.
Willie Woo.
Will said, I drove the 140 with you teaching me. I know for sure there is a right and wrong way.
Well, it's the right and wrong
so
way.
Will said, quit lying on that.
No,
on
it's
that
the
line.
right and wrong way of what I want done. Now, what somebody else wants done is a different thing.
So you know you've got standards that are
How I
strict
want it
standards.
set up on the 44-inch rolls, but a 140 will actually cultivate more than one row at a time. People don't realize that. I never really told anybody, but it'll cultivate more than one row.
Okay.
You just have to have it set up like that.
Okay. Speaking of Will, let's talk about Ivy Rain.
Yeah.
She's just so cute and beautiful and cuddly.
She likes me the most.
What? No, she stares at everybody.
No.
Joey acts like she stares at him, but she stares at all of us. Because she was staring at me, and I would move my head over, and she was following me, following me with her eyes and her head. And she loved watching, what's that channel? Vice Grip
Yeah,
Garage.
she was watching. Yeah.
Will sent me a video because he had her sitting up and facing the TV and bouncing her because she likes to look around when she's wide awake. And he was watching Vice Grip Garage, and she's like glued to the TV. Her eyes are all big, glued to the TV. So it was so cute. All right. I just had to talk about her for a minute, of course.
Obviously.
Janice says, tell Elliot happy birthday for me, please.
We will.
And I'm making him chicken pie tomorrow, which is his favorite. And William May says, happy birthday. Graham Pressure says, morning from Australia.
Good gracious alive. Good morning.
Yeah, Avery said he got too many strikes. Bye-bye channel. It was nice while it lasted. I think it's the whole safety thing because of his age.
Okay.
I think he's got his channel set up for
Avery,
all ages.
if you want to build a channel, you're going to have to play within their box. I know I hate to say that, but you'll have to play in their box of rules on the stuff, find out what you can and can't post and stuff like that.
Warhurst says, are there fires near you?
None that I know of.
Yeah, not near us. There's some in, I know South Carolina in the Myrtle Beach area.
Is it?
Yeah. And I thought I heard something, there was some in North Carolina, but I don't know where. If anybody else knows, you can tell me on here.
Pop in and let us know.
I haven't watched any news or anything. It's just been kind of a whirlwind few days. I haven't seen any current events except for our president.
Don't say his name, it stopped
I'm
alive.
not.
Every time we say his
Except for our
name, it stops
president,
alive.
having a whole smackdown.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Carl Capel is on.
Mr. Carl Capel.
Happy birthday from Camden, South Carolina. And you guys would look great riding up the lane in that red Tahoe. Thanks, Carl.
Who was the fellow from Australia?
Graham.
Graham, you just missed Starship landing off your coast. They had to scrub the launch.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, they didn't launch it.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, I like the space program. I was a space shuttle nut, and I watched that thing and studied it and read about it and got books on it, and I tend to follow pretty much SpaceX pretty heavily.
Jim Bowman is on.
Hey, Jim Bowman.
Hi from Jim in Westfield. Forget the red Tahoe. I could put her on a red Farmall Cub. No, and I just was talking about that Tahoe recently, and I told Joey, it'd be nice to have that third row seat because I'm going to have grandkids and stuff, starting now. And I don't want a minivan because I've paid my dues with the minivan. Joey can tell you, with the 3 sons, I have used and abused 2 minivans.
Yeah, through
our time of having children.
I'm thinking the next time if we ever ride with Ellie and Kaylee anywhere, I'm going to sit back in the back there. I'm going to spit in the cup holders. I'm going to pour my drink out in them.
Yeah, I mean, because those minivans, they went through a lot.
I'm going to get a bag of M&Ms and just put in there.
Having 3 young sons, those minivans went through a lot. I mean, they were put to well use, let me tell you, but I'm ready for a nice Tahoe now.
Yeah, I seen one of them ghost gray Ford F-350s long bed crew cab on the interstate today, and it looked pretty sharp. And that's what brought it up. Lena said she wanted a ghost gray Tahoe.
Yeah, ghost gray or that burgundy one. I'll take either.
When I say ghost gray, it just don't have no metallic in it. It's just
like a flat gray. Almost.
Yeah, it's just gray. No metallic in it whatsoever.
With the black wheels.
Which I'm thinking, I was really kind of disappointed that, Ram decided to take the V8 engines out of the 1500 trucks, but I think ever since who got elected, that I think they're going to put V8s back in them next year. I hope so. Hopefully they'll, with the pressure that the car manufacturers were under to meet a certain mileage standard and come out with electric vehicles and stuff, I mean, I don't think they really wanted to spend billions and billions of dollars on electric cars that nobody wants. So I think that'll help the car industry a lot. At least I hope so.
Bert Sexton, he means Elliot. He says happy birthday, Will, but happy birthday, Elliot.
Elliot.
Will's is next month.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Close
Yeah.
enough, Bart.
Jason McDonald's on. Hey, Jtwes. Hey, Jason, I was worried about you. You weren't first. I was like, where's Jason McDonald on here? Glad you can join us. Brian says, went to the farm spot Saturday and put out some coyote urine to deter the deer.
Oh, wow.
I hope it dries out soon because I stepped in the field and went 2 to 3 inches and still have standing water.
Oh, man. We were pretty lucky here. Like I said, I chisel plowed up at the plow day field today. It was not the plow day field. It was the extra one where I'm going to have that Jimmy Red corn. And I chisel plowed that whole field. I had hit a couple of spots that it was a little bit wet where I lifted up. But, I mean, the spots wasn't no more than 3 foot long. It's probably where one of y'all's plows went real deep or something.
Deed South Homestead at Pecan Grove is on.
Hey, Danny.
I've actually been and watched the test fire of the space shuttle's engine.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'd love
That
for
would be done. Yeah, I think they test fired that in Alabama.
I would love for you to be
Yeah.
able to go see a rocket launch in
Yeah,
person.
I would too.
You
That-
know,
I want to see that Starship launch one good time.
yeah, we'll have to. I mean, but the
But
whole
that
thing
thing-
is they get scrubbed so often.
Well,
you
this
don't
is
want to make a whole trip out
tonight was the first time that he had to scrub a Starship launch.
of it. Okay.
This was the 8th launch,
Okay.
and all 8 of them have been when he said they was going to be. But tonight, this
What was
is
the big thing he launched and caught? What was that? That's-
Starship.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot that they had the testing facility in Alabama.
Avery says we have a Sterling Metallic RST Suburban and it is loud. Shop Piddling says fires currently in Polk County, North Carolina, burnt 600 plus acres so far. So I thought I had heard it was in North Carolina too.
Yeah.
Just these winds and dry conditions.
You know, I mean, we had all that snow and rain, but I guess that wind just dried
The
that
wind,
top layer of
yes,
ground out.
Because the wind dries the brush so good, and then if there's any type of flame or spark, the wind just turns it into.
I know around Fort Bragg last year they were burning hundreds and hundreds of acres of pine trees. So I mean, you know, hopefully they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a lot of burning around Fort Bragg all the time, and it is Fort Bragg.
Jay Peel said it was always amazing watching the space shuttle take off and land. Seems like a long time ago now.
It does. It's that plane. It's I say plane, that rocket space shuttle. It was hard to believe that the first one in 1980 that launched, that iPhone could ran it 100 times over with as far as computing power. A wristwatch really could have ran it. But yeah, I hated to see it go, but it's just one of those deals, and I think we've seen this here lately, guys. The money that they spend versus what you really can do is just, it's crazy, the amount that what Elon Musk can do with private money versus government money.
Stan says Joey drove my Chrysler van home as I was not allowed to drive. Oh yes, and I mean, because I could have gotten that Chrysler van and been like, but the old days, you know, it's like riding a bike. You don't forget how to drive.
Yeah, and then his transmission went out.
On the van?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be your fault, Stan. I would have held him accountable for that.
I didn't do nothing but drive it. I mean, it ain't like a...
Well, maybe it's like, you know how you say the red truck is used to my driving? Maybe his Chrysler was used to his
That's
driving.
the thing I hate about borrowing somebody's stuff. I personally am not like it. Like if somebody come and borrowed my 140 and they brought it back and it put a rod through the side of the block, it was going to do it whether I was on it or they was on it.
Yeah, it's a coincidence.
Yeah. And I never have held up people like, you know, oh, well, you were on it when it broke. Stuff like that.
And you know my luck, that would happen to me if
Yeah.
I borrowed somebody's. Yeah, speaking of luck, for my birthday, Joey bought me a scratch-off ticket. So on our trip, because I love doing scratch-offs. But I just got one. Did we get one or two?
One. She just got one. We hadn't bought one in like 3-4 years.
Well, because, you know, and we always joke about my luck.
It was kind of a little trip present for her.
Yeah. So I got to do a scratch off. It was fun. I didn't win anything, of
Yeah, it
course.
was fun. All right.
Nothing.
Golly.
Warstead said, oh, Joey Neal says my dad's birthday was on the 4th. So Joey Neal's dad
Joey Neal's
and
birthday.
Elliot shared a birthday.
March 4th.
Warstead said we pulled the trigger on a new TYM tractor today. Pretty excited, at least it's red.
Oh yeah, I've seen that tractor down at the farm show in Raleigh. It was it's a pretty neat little tractor. I can imagine. I mean, I just don't know. Like they got that one TYM, and then they had a couple other brands. I don't know who makes those versus, like I know who makes Kubota and I know who makes Case IH and John Deere and so on and so forth. But some of those brands, there's another one, LS. There's a blue one. And I don't know who makes the LS. But then there was one down there that looked like a Kubota. And it had a similar type name. I don't remember what it was, but
Coyote?
yeah, it might have been Coyote. It could have been.
Because it looks like Kubota, but it's pronounced Coyote.
Yeah, I think it was Coyote with a K. Yeah. And so, yeah, I can't keep up with, but yeah, they're all, I'd like to have one for a little front end loader. I could be pretty dangerous with that thing. I'd be out there lifting up stuff.
Well, and speaking of coyotes, I kept seeing there's a place near us that trains beagles for hunting dogs.
I told you I graduated, fat boy.
Well, and I was like, I could have swore I seen a coyote in that fence. I was like, oh, that poor coyote, he's dead, getting in that fence. And then, like a month later, I seen it again. I'm like, how is this coyote sneaking in there? And Joey finally told me there's actually 2.
Yeah.
And I said, well, he must use them for hunting reasons or
He
something.
trains dogs. I forget what he does, but he trains dogs.
He uses those, I guess, maybe to help train the beagles or whatever. But I was like, I had no idea. I thought I was seeing things. I was like, man, that dog looks like a coyote. But it's actually 2 coyotes that are in those fences, in those pastures. Janice said, I lived in Huntsville, Alabama, space capital.
Yes. I drove through there one time to go get that little disc. The disc hair, my light disc, you guys have seen it, the one that I forget the F whatever disc hair it is. I got it in Alabama, and I remember coming through there and seeing those rockets. But that was like 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe.
Danny says it's actually in my back door at the Stennis Space Center.
Yeah,
on
Stennis Space Center, that's it.
Mississippi Gulf Coast. I cleared a lot of land there.
Yeah, that's exactly where it's at. Matter of fact, they hadn't been too long tested some RS-25 engines for that Orion, or for the Orion rocket, but that's not the name of it. SLS rocket.
Oh, Pat Doak is on.
Hey, Pat.
Just wanted to say hi. I've been busy with many things the last 2 weeks, some medical issues. Sorry to hear that, Pat.
I'm glad you brought it up, though, Pat. Man, there's a lot of folks. Well, I say a lot of it. There's quite a few folks at our church we've been praying for. A couple of men, and I've often said, if you do pray for somebody that has a health problem, please pray in earnest for them, because you just never know when you may need that prayer.
Yeah, you're the one needing
prayer
it.
yourself. I try to think of it as, when I pray for them, I try to think of it as much as if it was me, and the things I would, hopefully the comfort I would need, and the health and stuff, and so I pray seriously and earnestly for it, because I've often thought, it's not important to you till it happens to you. So, try to make it as important as you can to you. And I know you guys, I'm preaching to the choir, because I know they would anyway, but, so.
Make it personal.
Yeah.
Cajun Homestead's on.
Hey, Cajun Homestead.
Hello, Jtwes family and friends. And Joey Neal said he remembers watching the TV when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded.
I did too. I stayed
Yeah.
out of school that day.
We watched it in school.
And so in 1984, you couldn't have been.
I was in school. I remember it. I remember watching.
I wasn't too old in 1984, but no,
Yeah.
82 was when that Challenger exploded.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe well, I don't know.
I said 84, but it's 82, because I wasn't.
You would have
About
been
11
9.
or 9,
No, yeah, 11.
10 or 11, 10, 11. But I was smart enough to know when I seen it that it wasn't right. Because I remember telling Mama that I thought it blew up. I told Mom, she was there. I said, Mom, this thing blew up. She's like, what?
Warstead says TYM makes Bad Boy and some Mahindra. And Jim Kaufman says, I believe South Korea makes LS tractors.
Okay. Yeah, definitely wouldn't be North Korea because they probably wouldn't be making it out of the
No.
country. Yeah. I was looking at a little Gideon's Bible day. It's funny, I just thought about that when I said North Korea. And I was looking at a little Gideon's Bible, and the Gideons had translated John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, to whoever shall believe in him shall not perish, have everlasting life. But anyway, they translated that in about 20 languages, and one of them was Korean. And I said, man, I ought to take a picture of this and post this on X or something about every 2 days, just in case some North Korea person.
Oh, they can't get on it.
Yeah, well, just in case they ever get on the internet or something and see it, because it's sad because they don't have Bibles. Well, there's some probably smuggled in, but it's far and few between. But just by chance that somebody they might see it.
Tibbo says, though dogs have a rough life.
What, coyotes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, the beagles. Avery says, LS tractors are great. We have one and it's been very reliable. Would highly recommend. I'm selling the LS with the loader now. Do you want it? LS mixed tractors under 50 horsepower for a few brands.
Yeah, no,
We're good with what we got.
I'll be honest
Avery.
with you. After I got off, I was thinking today to myself when I was chisel plowing that field, and like I said, I'll probably chisel plow that field again. So we'll get to see the tractor in action then on film. It wasn't very important that I didn't film it today. Well, I did film some with it the other day, and that video will be out tomorrow. But I'm absolutely tickled with what that tractor do. It just seems like such a little bulldog. That tractor is just a little bulldog. It's just kind of stumpy to the ground, and it doesn't bog the engine down. If anything, it'll spin the wheels before it bogs the engine down. So I was really pleased with the chisel plow we put together, and it's I don't know that I'll use the one for the 140 this year at all, to be honest with you. I may not. It probably won't get used.
Shop Piddling wants to know, have you guys ever been to the Ederville Tractor Show?
No, I haven't. I'd like to go to a few. The one Leno went with me was, where was that at? It's the big one, guys, in July, right around July 4th. It's got the train that you can ride. No, I don't think it's Silk Hope. It's something else. Anyway, everybody, y'all know where I'm talking about. Somebody will put it on here in a second. It's got the train you can ride. And remember, they had a show too with the train.
I thought that was called Silk Hope. Oh no.
It wasn't Silk Hope.
Thrasher's
Union.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I don't know. I've been to several.
Now I went with Stan.
I'm trying to get the man just to go to the zoo with me. Like, can we go to the zoo or one place I'd like to go? Because I haven't been since like Sam was in kindergarten.
I know. I went with Stan to a tractor show in Michigan, mid-Michigan, and that was a big tractor show. Yeah, we're going to go to the zoo. I'm going to go to the zoo and see if I can antagonize a monkey into breaking the glass.
Oh, no. I don't think so. We probably won't even stop to see the monkeys.
Oh, yeah, I want to see if
they give me the creeps.
I want to see if I can get, I'm gonna like
No.
lunge at them like this right here and see if I can get them to.
Pat said his daughter has cancer again.
Oh, man,
I
Pat.
could use prayers from all your family and friends. Pat, we'll put her on our list, our prayer list.
Yes, definitely.
If you don't mind sharing her first name with me. I'll screenshot it so I could put it on our list. William A. says Challenger blew up on 1/28/86.
86.
So see, I knew I was in school and it was
I thought
close
it
to
was
my
82.
birthday. It was close to my birthday, so I remember it.
I didn't think
That's why I was like, did I just totally make that memory up, seeing other people?
86.
Yeah.
I guess it was. I don't know why I was thinking 82.
James Rayleigh says, I would have gotten on a shuttle the day after the Challenger exploded if you would have let me. Yeah.
They it just, you got to remember, I mean, to me, it's what Elon Musk is doing with that Starship. He wants to make that thing like a jet airplane. I mean, if you think about it, it can be done. It's just nobody's tried it. You know, 747 comes in, and some flights literally will let some people off, some people on, and get right back out on the runway and take off again, and you'll never deboard the plane. And he wants those rockets where he can turn them around that quick.
Will said, I have an ERTL tractor, but I haven't got it running yet. What does that
He's
mean?
trying to be funny and coy.
What does ERTL mean?
It's a toy tractor.
Oh.
I don't know how you say the name. I think it's Ertl or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, okay.
I'm gonna beat that boy.
Will is so funny. His humor just cracks me up sometimes with stuff he says.
You make sure Rain's okay.
Oh, he does. He sent me a picture of her because she slept on him for 3 hours last night. Because, you know, she loves to sleep on you. Johnny Anderson was saying Denton. Yeah, for the
Denton, yeah.
the
Thrashers.
Thrashers, yeah. And
Man,
Joseph
why was I
White.
thinking it was 80? I still think why it was 82.
Joseph said, TYM is a South Korea tractor company started in 1951.
That's not bad. Sounds like it's been around a while.
And yeah, Avery was saying got to be NC, which I think that's a different show.
Well, we done had a couple of comments on this shuttle, like we got some shuttle people around here. Why did they paint the external tank brown after it was originally white?
Danny says there's things I could share about the space program that would challenge your way of thinking about them. We're way beyond what most people think we are. Oh yeah, we'll never know everything that they know.
Danny, I've often figured, you know, if you really put logic to it, you know, logically, if you like the SR-71, for example, if you think about it, when that plane was designed and built and flown at Mach 3, maybe Mach 4, they probably lied about that, and that was in 1960, and here it is 2025. It's, if you think about it logically, how computers advanced from 1960 to now, there's no reason why that plane wouldn't be doing Mach 10 now.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that.
Prissy, if you don't stop yawning with her fish breath, because it blows right up in my face and it smells awful.
Well, knock her off.
Okay. J. Pill says the whole family was watching when the Challenger disaster happened. Shouldn't have been launched in those low temperatures.
Well, I think they had they did have an idea about the O-rings, but I think they figured they was going to be okay. That was the sad part. I mean, I think they had an idea that cold weather could affect them. But you never heard about it until after the explosion. I mean, they, you know, of course, then they said, yeah, we've been keeping an eye on them and looking at them and stuff.
Pat said his daughter's name is Kimberly and she's 48.
Kimberly, oh gosh,
Don't want to lose your children. Thank
No.
you. Yeah, she's the young, 48. Hold on, let me do this so I can remember her name to pray for her. All right, Pat, I've got it on my list now. I'll put it on our church prayer list. Put that request on there. Shop Piddling says, Ederville puts the one in Denton to shame. It's November 7th, 8th, and 9th this year.
Where's it?
Yeah, tell us where Ederville is.
Yeah, where is
What's
Ederville?
it close to? Cajun Homestead says the 747 that carried the shuttle back after it landed did touch and goes at our facility in Lake Charles. Watched it a couple times.
I see Air Force One doing touch and goes in Greensboro all the time. Why they choose Greensboro? It may be the FedEx runway is long enough to them to do what they want to do, but I do see Air Force One in Greensboro. But yeah, that 747 was, well, once they built the runway in Florida, they didn't need to carry it back from California no more, but that's pretty awesome to see it do that.
And they said the tanks weren't painted, it was the outer insulation color.
Yeah, but they changed it from white insulation to...
Yeah, Paul Holmes says that. The color of the shuttle, ET was the natural color of the spray-on insulation.
Yeah.
They stopped painting it white because it added several hundred pounds of weight.
That's it. See, look at how smart these guys are.
I know.
I'm telling you, man. How many shuttles were built?
And Danny says many of these crafts were created at the Dugway Proving Grounds, hint Area 52.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, Sam. Sam's trying to answer your question. Is that right?
No, he doesn't count. He ain't gonna come in the middle of our live. Go on back in there. Go on, get.
Go on, get.
Gonna talk to
Sam always tells us to go
talking
on,
to his
get.
girlfriend, then he gonna roll in here and try to answer if you could.
Yeah, breaking news. Sam has a girlfriend. And she's really pretty, too.
Yeah, she is.
Cajun Homestead says we weigh all control surfaces on our planes. Painting adds a lot of weight. And you don't think about that, the weight that paint adds.
Well, yeah, but sometimes, all right, I'm gonna give you an example of something that, Trump. I wasn't gonna say the name because I didn't want my live to stop. But the new presidential airplane, the man that made the deal wanted the bottom of it to be dark blue, and of course the next president wanted it to be like the John F. Kennedy paint scheme, which is light blue, which we have now. I think both look fine, but Boeing said that they couldn't paint it dark blue because it was going to be too hot on the avionics or something like that. And I'm thinking, all these purple Southwest jets running around here, and they're worried about it being, sometimes they use stuff like that as an excuse to do what the other president wants to do. And anybody knows that ain't the case. But before it's all said and done, that plane probably will be back to color it was supposed to be, with a dark blue belly. And I'm sure they won't say nothing about having fixed their heat problem. But
That show that he was talking about in November was Carthage,
okay.
North Carolina. And Avery says, "Dang, Sammy," about the girlfriend. Yeah.
And I forget, these guys, they're talking about the space and Danny down in Alabama and people around him. I'm complaining. I am complaining a little bit about how long it takes the government to do something. But there's a lot of jobs around these guys that are intertwined with that space shuttle and the SLS. And even though it takes, 2 years to assemble one SLS rocket, and it really shouldn't, I hate it for a lot of them because there's a lot of jobs intertwined in that.
Well, Cajun Homestead says Trump's planes were painted at our location.
Oh, wow.
And he's in Louisiana.
Well, I know, yeah. And Trump's plane's black.
Lake Charles.
Yeah. Oh, dadgummit. I said his name again.
I know. Well, he said it. I was just reading the comment. So.
I don't, we just joke about that because, we had some problems with last week's live. It just stopped.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's.
If you really think about it, though, YouTube got, I don't know, it's like 30 billion views last month or something. It was way up in the billions. And it's probably millions of live streams every second on YouTube. And so they got probably quite a bit to keep up with. I'd say they do a pretty good job for what the amount of traffic that's on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised stuff doesn't happen more often,
yeah,
honestly.
I'd say they do a pretty good job.
It's quite a controlled chaos type environment, Just something is going to go wrong every once in a while. That's just how it is. You just got to pray you're not there when something goes wrong. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, we did about this week. We took Sam and his girlfriend to dinner. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And his brothers are trying to completely butt into the situation. So it was a good time.
I don't know if she watches us or not. She may.
I don't think so. Timbo says it's all about the algorithms.
Oh, yeah. Which I did ask Will one time if I call her Meggie J is what I call her, Will's wife. I call her Meggie J. And I told Will, I said, "Will's Meggie J been checking us out on YouTube?" He's like, "Yeah, she watched a couple times."
Stan is hilarious. He says, "If you want your live to lock up, say John Deere 3 times real fast." like a curse or like a wives' tale or something.
Like that movie Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
I know, he's just cracking me up tonight. Danny says it's really weird when your whole house starts rumbling and your windows rattle when they're firing the engines off on those shuttles.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, because we've had like, what are those two ones with the propellers on both ends? The banana-looking ones.
I think
Chinooks?
I think the correct name is a chin hook,
Chin hooks.
but I think they're nicknamed Chinook.
So are we correct with A, chin hook, or B, Chinook? A or B?
One or the
For
other,
you
but
military guys who know.
That's what she's talking about.
So two of them have flew over our house, and it's been pretty low. And the wire rack shelving I've got to put all my big pots and pans on, that's rattled because two of them were pretty low. And we've got the Black Hawks; those are really loud.
Yeah.
And I thought, why is this so loud? I was worried because I'm like,
Because
is there a problem with this thing?
we've talked about this before. The military, the whole of the military, there is no such thing as emissions for them. There's no exhaust, no emissions.
Oh, yeah, no.
No catalytic converters.
Right.
They pretty much straight pipe everything.
But for some reason, whatever it is, their flight path is over our house quite a bit. And so I thought my wire rack was rattling again. And I thought, oh my goodness, what's going on? And it was when all these aviation incidents were happening. And I was like, I hope something's not going down near us. And it was just like 3 Black Hawks right together. So it was extremely loud. And that's what it was. I was like, whew, okay.
Everybody got, last year, somebody put a video up of a brand spanking new Ford truck that was a military truck.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody got up in arms about it because it had no DEF, no exhaust, or no catalytic converters. It run on peanut oil, kerosene. I mean, it was like 4 or 5 different fuels it could run on. Everybody was all up in arms about it. I didn't mind because, if they're over in the middle of the desert somewhere and all they can get their hands on is kerosene, then I want my boys to be able to get out there, So I didn't mind it being like that, but everybody was up in arms about that.
Well, the rules don't apply for the government.
Well,
do as I say, not as I do.
I agree, but it needs to be like that. If they got that thing overseas, it doesn't need to run on certain fuel. It needs to be able to get what it can get.
Be more durable,
Flexible,
yeah. And go wherever it's at on whatever it's using. Will says, my house windows rattle when a Honda Civic drives by. Will's home is pretty old, and it's a fixer-upper, which it's a rental. And so I told them they're just coming up through the ranks. It's building good character for their young marriage to live in a house like that they've had to do a lot of work on. But yeah, I could see the windows rattling because they live right on a main road, and there's a lot of traffic that goes by. Joey Neal says they're flying low looking for marijuana.
Oh,
I
the
don't
military?
know. I don't know if the military would.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
I
must
don't think
have heard
I don't
about
think
some
they.
of our neighbors.
I honestly don't think they look for it like they used to.
No, I know they used to look for it constantly.
Yeah, I don't really think they look for it like they used to.
And then plus our neighbor did grow hemp legally.
Yeah.
So, they can fly over all they want, but it was legal. So, Stan says, I truly enjoy when the A-10s used to fly over at 500 foot when I was out pheasant hunting. Sweet.
Why is an A-10 A-10? What's the A stand for?
I know. I'll try not to whisper into my microphone.
And why does a
I just watched some of Joey's boring YouTube material last night, so I know this.
why does a F-14 or F-22 or F-35? What's the F stand for?
Jay Peel says they do some low flying exercises with those Chinooks. And Avery says, have you ever used a Carolina plow for a cultivator on your 140?
A Carolina plow?
Yeah, my grandpa used to have a set, and he said they were great.
I had some half shovels when I was a teenager that Daddy had bought for corn that were just about the size of a small mower. They really was. They huge half shovels. Nobody makes them no more.
Cajun Homestead says, after 38 years of listening to everything that flies, the really loud makes you go have a look, see? Yeah, and that's time too, because We do get life flight because, like I said, for some reason the traffic pattern is over our house.
But I can generally tell you what it is.
He can tell the pitch that it's life flight because I'm like, oh, what is that coming? And I go out there, and then the Cessnas, I know those because they have a certain sound. But then sometimes the LabCorp jet will fly over. It's not his usual pattern here, but we have seen it, and only because Joey's got some app too that stalks, the airspace, and he can tell you what's flying over.
Military never shows up.
Well, I
on
know
that
that's
app.
how he knows it's military because he's like, oh, it's not showing out on my app. But
Well, it's neat sometimes to look down at that app and there's a big old, Boeing 747 flying over, and you click onto it and it says, Argentina the dullest or something, and you're like, man, them people's from Argentina and they flying over my house.
Yep. Oh, Avery. The F is for fighter. Correct, Avery. Ding, ding. I just learned that last night.
Well, what's the A stand for?
Oh,
the
A.
A-10 Warthog.
Oh, A stands for attack.
Did somebody say
No.
that, or did you just give the answer out?
I just said it because, sorry, Avery, I thought he said F something, but no, never mind.
I did say F. I said, what's the F-22, F-16,
okay.
F-15?
Then I'm sorry I ruined it. A is for attack, guys. I ruined it. Sorry.
Well, what would the SR-71, the SR stand for then?
I know it, but I don't want to say it. If somebody say what the SR stands for. I know it, only because I learned it last night. Like I said, I got secondhand boring YouTube videos from Joey last night. Danny says, the Game and Fish Commission took over the job of looking for the weed with infrared technology.
Ah.
I didn't know it would
I just
show
figured,
up infrared.
Danny, I just figured with half the states in the United States where you could just go buy it now, I just figured they probably didn't put as much emphasis on it as they used to. I mean, golly, I know I go to these apartment complexes working, and that strong skunk smell comes around the corner, and I'm like, golly, guys, can y'all not wait till you lunch break?
Oh, yeah. Philip Meredith says, we've been to NASA in Houston. There's a plane with a shuttle loaded on it that you can go in them.
Oh, wow.
That's
pretty
in
cool.
Houston.
I want to go, it's where Leno's mom and daddy lives, I think in an hour and a half, maybe, hour and 45 minutes at the most. You can be at the museum that has one of them, the Discovery, or one of them, I'm not sure which one it is.
Where's that at? Is it Alexandria, Virginia?
Yeah, Will went and seen it.
Or, I can't remember, because my dad would take my boys to it.
I remember when I was looking at the capsule that John Glenn circled the Earth with in the Smithsonian, because that one's in D.C. in that museum, because it's not that big of a capsule. But I was looking at that thing, and I said, man, this thing is riveted together. It had like 1,000,000 rivets in it.
Good night, Avery.
Good night, Avery.
Timbo says, Flight Tracker 24 app is awesome. Isn't that what you got?
Yeah.
And I only got it on my phone when he was taking all these flights like in 2-year time, so I would know when he landed and stuff. Warstead says, Life Flight flies right over our place too and not anywhere near 400 foot, way lower. I guess it saves fuel.
No, well, yeah, I don't know. They're not that high when they go over here. I can the helicopter, the Bell helicopter that they use has a high pitch to it. It turns a pretty fast RPM. And the ones that the military uses, the RPMs ain't quite as high.
Yeah, and when you can see the soldier's helmet with your plain eyes, that's how low I'm talking when we see the Chinooks and stuff go by. Or the Blackhawks. I could see their helmets because I go on my back deck like a, angry old granny. And I'm like looking up there at them and I can like see I can make out their helmets. It's that low. John Briggs says probably doing training missions and that's their flight pattern. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they'll turn around kind of near the house too because they'll go over and then come right back over. Orbor says fighter jets fly around here a lot in the summer, training flying up the mountain. I have a funny story about me plowing with the 140 in a military cargo plane. Yeah, Orbor, you'll have to tell us that story sometime. Brett Sapp is on.
Brett Sapp.
And Brett says, hello again from Louisville. SR is strategic reconnaissance.
Yes.
And I remembered that one.
Yeah, strategic reconnaissance.
Yeah. And J. Peel was the SR-71, the one they called the Blackbird.
It is, J. Peel. It's the one where if you shot a missile at it, they just kind of threw the code to it and outrun the missile.
And Joey Neal says, we have a lot of helicopters fly over our house. Some are personal, heading to their houseboats on the lake.
And J. Peel, speaking J. Peel, England has a lot of YouTube channels because we have, I don't know, we got a half a dozen U.S. Air Force bases in England, and they have a lot of YouTube channels that just watch planes, our planes come in and out of England, the B-2 bomber, the B-52, all of them. And it's funny because every now and then you hear one, he'll say something like "crowkey" or whatever that word is. I don't know, it could be a bad word. I probably shouldn't say
That's Australian.
Oh. Well, they'll say
Like
those funny words
crikey,
like that. Yeah.
Crikey. Only because Mr. Steve Irwin used to say that, so it can't be a bad word.
Yeah, that's right. He said it on TV.
And when I dropped you off or picked you up or something from the airport, it was pretty cool seeing the airplanes because I've never been on a plane. But seeing them, it made me not want to get on one even more. Just seeing the size and how slow they take off and how slow they land.
It ain't slow.
I'm like, how can they not just fall out of the sky?
They hit the end of that runway probably doing 100.
It looks slow.
180 miles an hour.
I know, but it looks slow. It looks like they're not. Their engines aren't keeping them up high enough or something.
And when they land, they're probably doing 200, 240. And then that wheel has to catch up to 240 miles an hour real quick.
Cajun Homestead says when the A-10s were stationed at Barksdale, they would come here and do touch and goes and buzz some of the marshes in the big open fields and buzz our high school.
Oh, wow.
They're showing off. Stan says the B-52s out of Ellsworth fly nap of the earth practice. I don't know what that means. I have actually looked down on a B-52 while shooting prairie dogs in South Dakota. The pilot eyeballing me while I was looking over my rifle. Oh, I bet so. He'd be like, boy, you better watch yourself. Warstead said our old neighbor was a Black Hawk pilot for the Army.
All right.
We could hear him coming for 10 miles away. Plus, he would open the door and wave sometimes. Yeah.
Leno always says there's a picture of a Chinook or a Chinhook, whatever how you want to say it, in Nam, I think it was. And he'd stuck the tail end of that thing down on a mountain just to
On a
tell.
cliff,
Yeah.
kind of.
And she always tells me, she said, if you had to go to the Army, that would have been.
It would have. That would be something he would pull off because he can just do everything, all kinds of stuff. And it said something about, I don't know, it said something about like, you may think you're, a bad man, but have you ever, set the butt end of a Chinook on a cliff evacuating wounded soldiers while under fire? And I was just like, that's something you would do. Brian says, thanks for having us and have a great rest of your week. Good night. Good night, Brian.
Good night, Brian.
And Janice is saying good night, everyone, too. Good night, Janice.
Good night, Janice.
And Mark Phelps is on.
Hey, Mark Phelps.
Bart says, what is the plane that has the propellers that can rotate up or normal?
That's the Osprey.
Osprey, yeah. We did see some Osprey.
It's a V-22 Osprey that has had a lot of problems over the years, but I think they're getting them. Pretty square away. But they're not so square enough that they'll use them for the president. So, which speaking of, they do have a new helicopter they're going to use for the president, but after all their research and development and contracts and this, that, and the other, they landed it on the White House lawn and it tore up the grass. So they got to figure out something to do with that.
What are those little, we didn't think about that.
Yeah, we didn't think about that, tearing up the grass.
Right. It's one of those little slips like, yeah,
but now it's pushed back to 2030, and I'm like, well, just like the Boeing 747s they got now, I'm sure they go through a vigorous maintenance schedule, but golly, them airframes, man, they're a couple of them airframes is getting on to be about 30 years old. I mean, they may have new engines, and that's great, but the airframe itself is getting pretty old.
Yeah, Bart was saying they're loud, and he said, I hate when they're flying around here, going all around us, then to Goldsboro Airport. That's not too far from our house. So, yeah, I bet that does make for a lot of loud sounds there.
Yeah, I want to go somewhere a busy airport. Charlotte, you go to Charlotte or Atlanta, get you a good seat and just watch them things come in.
All right, well, it is 9 p.m.
Well, golly.
And we've got several going to bed or saying goodnight. I think I might need to.
No.
He's been wanting out, so I need to let
I
him out.
thought you put them out before the live.
No.
Oh. Well, how many we got in here? How many are we leaving dropping?
90.
You're dropping 90 people just like that.
Well, 90 people. You guys know it starts at 8 Eastern Standard Time. We stay on for an hour, and we love having everybody. And whoever's on now, if you're not subscribed,
Give me that thing.
please hit subscribe, like this
I can stay on
live.
for the next 2 hours.
Well, look, everybody else is ready to go, too.
Yeah.
You want to stay on for 2 hours?
No, better not. How you keep up for all this?
Well, I just read them. Sometimes I skip some on accident.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh,
See?
I probably just cut the live off.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I forgot Will's a moderator. He's got the little wrench on his. Mr. Will moderating.
Yeah, so I think we can go. But you guys see the example why he doesn't read y'all's comments.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me to.
And Stan says, it's been enjoyable. Thanks for having us.
You are very welcome. Glad y'all was here. Got a video coming out tomorrow. I think you guys enjoy, and we'll make some more, and we'll be planting potatoes before
Chris.
you know it. Won't be long at all. You gonna shut us down, baby?
Yeah, Pris says good night. Thanks for letting her hang out and watch the happenings. You can see she's very active.
Nobody like the cat. It starts at 1 a.m. GMT.
What is that? Something Mountain Time?
Yeah, that's something J. Pill was talking about.
And Joey Neal says it's fun. Been
Yep.
fun. Have a great night.
All right, y'all were
Jimbo says TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
TTFM. Y'all think about it. Y'all remember Kimberly
Yeah, Kimberly.
and pray for her, and I'm sure Mr. Doka will appreciate that a whole lot. Thank y'all. God bless you. We'll see you.